Welcome to my channel, Tech Set Go. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 is one of the most unique phones on the market right now. After using it for a full week, I can say this clearly. It's one of the most fun phones I've ever used. It's not just a phone that folds in half. It's an experience. From the moment you pick it up, it feels different. It draws attention.
It gets people asking questions. And most of all, it makes daily use more enjoyable in surprising ways. The first thing that stands out is the cover screen. Samsung has done a great job here.
This is no longer a tiny window that shows basic info. It's now a full-size display with some of the thinnest bezels ever seen on a phone. When you first see it light up, it almost doesn't look real. The screen goes edge to edge, and even though the cameras punch through the panel, it still looks modern and sharp. Compared to the Galaxy Z Flip 6, this is a big leap forward. The folder-style look is gone. In its place is something far more futuristic. This design change is possible thanks to a few smart engineering moves. Samsung managed to shrink the internal components and replace the old waterproof rubber seal with a new water-resistant coating. This gave them more space for the display while still keeping the phone protected. The result is a device that feels both advanced and practical. By default, the cover screen is mostly for widgets. You can swipe right to check your notifications. The center screen shows you the time, your battery level, and your wallpaper. You can swipe left to access your widgets. So here's something a bit strange. You can't actually customize those widgets from the cover screen itself. You need to open the phone and make changes from the main interface. That feels like a small missed opportunity, but it's not a deal breaker. Where the cover screen truly shines is with full app support. This changes the game. You can run apps like YouTube, Maps, and WhatsApp right from the outer screen. Samsung even added a Labs feature to allow more apps to be used this way. If you want more flexibility, you can download the Good Lock app and use the Multi-Star plugin. This lets you enable almost any app to work on the cover screen. You even get options to adjust the window size, which is a smart addition. You can run apps full screen, leave space for the cameras, or switch to a 16:9 ratio. It all works very smoothly during my week with the Flip 7. One of the most useful cover screen apps was Google Maps. When you're walking around a city, using a big phone can feel awkward, but with the Flip 7 folded and in your hand, navigation feels natural. Get a good grip on the phone, and the screen is easy to glance at. It makes you want to go out and explore more just to use this feature again. Now, I'll admit, not everyone on my team felt the same way. Josh, who normally uses the Flip 5, said the new cover screen felt more like a visual upgrade than a functional one. His point was that the camera cutouts still take up a lot of space. He's not wrong, but even so, the overall look and feel of the Flip 7's front display is a major step forward. Compared to other flip phones like Motor's Razr, the Samsung model feels cleaner and more refined. And even if it's not a full smartphone on the front, it still does a lot. That brings me to the second big highlight, the foldable experience. It's easy to dismiss the Flip series as just a fun gimmick, but that would be missing the point. This form factor changes how you use your phone. For example, you can easily prop it up on a table and watch YouTube hands-free. You can fold it halfway and use the bottom half as a trackpad, while the top shows a web page. It's flexible, literally. And let's talk about photography. This is where the Flip 7 shines in ways other phones simply can't match. You can fold it at a 90 angle and take a photo without needing a tripod. The main cameras are right next to the cover screen, so you can use them to take selfies while seeing yourself in real time. This is a big advantage over the Fold series, where you need to hold the phone or use a stand to get the same effect. The Flip's design just makes it easier. Speaking of cameras, let's dive into the third thing I love, the main camera itself. On paper, it's the same sensor Samsung has used in several models, going back to the S22, but even though it's not brand new, it still performs really well. Photos are sharp, colors are vibrant, portrait shots have great subject separation, and low-light shots come out better than you'd expect. It's a solid camera system, and thanks to the foldable form factor, it becomes even more useful. One of my favorite features is using the main camera for selfies. You just fold the phone and use the cover screen to line up your shot. The quality is much better than typical front-facing cameras. You can also record video like this, which is great for content creators. If you're someone who vlogs, takes social media videos, or just wants better selfies, this phone gives you the tools to do it. Now, it's not all perfect. There are a few issues I ran into during my week with the Flip 7, and the first one is hard to ignore. Overheating, this phone runs hot, and not just when you're pushing it. Even while sitting in my pocket, it got noticeably warm. Outdoors in the sun, it gets even worse. This is disappointing, especially considering Samsung added a larger vapor chamber to help manage heat. Doesn't seem to be doing enough. Part of the problem might be the processor. The Flip 7 uses Samsung's own Exynos 2500 chip in some regions. And this chip doesn't match the performance of Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 Elite, which is used in the Fold 7. Running benchmarks, the Exynos chip scored poorly. It even performed worse than last year's Flip 5 in some tests. That's not great. And yes, performance in real-world use was mostly okay, but I did experience some lag and stutters, especially when switching between heavy apps. Even weirder was a glitch with Google Photos. On my Flip 7, the app refused to sync. It stayed stuck at setting up your photo library for days. I tried everything short of a full reset, and nothing worked. This meant I could only see the photos I took on the Flip itself. All my cloud photos were grayed out. I'm not sure if this was a one-off issue or something to do with the Exynos chip. Either way, it was frustrating. Battery life is another mixed bag. Samsung increased the battery size slightly, but in daily use. I still ended most days with around 15% remaining, and that was with moderate use. For heavier users, you may need to top up during the day. Compared to the S25 Edge, which I also tested, the Flip 7 lasted a bit longer under similar use, but it still falls behind the S25 Ultra and Fold 7 when it comes to endurance. Lastly, I have to mention the missing telephoto lens. The Flip 7 only has a main and ultra-wide camera, no dedicated zoom. For me, that's a drawback. I tend to zoom in far more often than I zoom out. Sure, you can use digital zoom. And thanks to Samsung's AI, it's actually pretty good. But it doesn't match what you get from real optical zoom on something like the Fold 7 or S25 Ultra. It's a compromise and one ULL feel if you'd like to zoom in on subjects from a distance. Still, despite these flaws, I find myself reaching for the Flip 7 again and again. It's just so much fun to use. It's light. It's thin. It's only 188 grams. It's much easier to carry than the S25 Ultra. And when unfolded, it's just 6.5 millimeters thin. One of the thinnest phones I've ever held. The crease in the screen is still there. Yes, but it's less noticeable than before. You'll feel it when scrolling since the crease runs horizontally, but it's easy to get used to. There's also the price. This is where Samsung surprised me the most. The Galaxy Z Flip 7 costs about the same as the S25 Edge, and in some places, it's even cheaper. When you factor in pre-order bonuses and trade-in deals, it becomes a very attractive option. You're getting a foldable phone with a great main camera, a unique design, and some clever software features. All for a price that's comparable to a regular flagship. That's what makes the Flip 7 so appealing. May not be perfect, but it offers something different, something fresh. It reminds you that phones can still be fun. They don't have to be just rectangles with specs. They can be experiences. And that's why I enjoyed my week with the Galaxy Z Flip 7 so much. It's the kind of phone that makes you excited to use it again.